Imagine living inside a cramped metal tube for an entire month. Your world is a constant crushing squeeze, an invisible force pressing in on you from all sides, equal to the weight of hundreds of meters of water. You eat here, you sleep here, and you work from here, all while your body adapts to an environment more alien than the surface of the moon. This isn't science fiction. This is the reality for a saturation diver, one of the most extreme and least understood professions on Earth. The reason for this bizarre existence is a brutal law of physics. When divers go deep, the immense pressure forces gases from their breathing mix to dissolve into their body tissues. Coming up too fast is like shaking a soda can and popping the top. Those dissolved gases violently bubble out of solution, causing a crippling, often fatal condition called decompression sickness, or the bends. Instead of risking that deadly journey every day, these divers do something radical. They stay down. For weeks at a time, they live under pressure until their bodies become fully saturated with the inert gas they're breathing. Their tissues can't absorb anymore. They have reached a state of equilibrium with their pressurized world. Their home is not on the ocean floor, but on the deck of a support vessel far above. It's a complex of steel tubes called a deck decompression chamber, or DDC. This is their living quarters, their kitchen, and their sleeping pod, all kept at the same crushing pressure as the deep-sea worksite. Inside, life is stripped to its essentials. Bunks are bolted to the walls. A small table serves for meals and planning. A tiny sanitation unit provides the basics. Every moment is spent in a claustrophobic, climate-controlled steel cocoon, a world away from the sun and fresh air. This metal habitat is more than just a room. It's a bubble of survivable pressure in a world that would instantly extinguish them. It is their only shield, a high-tech fortress against the lethal physics of the deep ocean. But how do you even breathe in a world like this? Normal air, the stuff we're breathing right now, becomes a killer. At extreme depths, the nitrogen in the air causes a debilitating mental fog called nitrogen narcosis, while the oxygen itself becomes toxic to the central nervous system. The solution is a strange synthetic atmosphere, a carefully engineered mix of helium and oxygen called heliox. This mixture is the only thing that makes life and work possible at these incredible depths. Breathing this mix has bizarre consequences. The most famous is the voice. Helium is far less dense than the nitrogen in our air, which makes vocal cords vibrate much faster. The result is a high-pitched, squeaky sound, rendering their speech almost unrecognizable without electronic unscramblers. But the voice is just a strange side effect. The real, life-threatening challenge of breathing helium is temperature. Helium is a terrible insulator. It pulls heat from the human body at a terrifying rate, more than 20 times faster than normal air. A diver breathing heliox could freeze to death in temperate water without a constant supply of hot water pumped into their suit. Their day begins not with a sunrise, but with the hiss of a pressurized hatch. The commute to work is a journey into another dimension. They move from their living quarters, the deck decompression chamber, into an even smaller steel sphere, the diving bell. This isn't just an elevator, it's their armored chariot, their only link to the world above. Clamped shut, the bell is their entire universe for the descent. It's a cramped, purposeful space, packed with gauges, gas lines, and communication gear. Through a tiny porthole, they watch the familiar, brightly lit interior of the support vessel slide away. Their journey to the bottom of the ocean has begun. The bell is lowered through the moon pool, a gaping hole in the center of the ship's hull that opens directly to the sea. They plunge from the air into the crushing black abyss. Down and down they go, watching the pressure gauges climb relentlessly, hundreds of feet, then 1,000. They are leaving the world of light and air, descending to a worksite where the pressure can be over 50 times greater than on the surface. Once at the seafloor, the real work starts. These are the elite construction workers of the deep sea tasked with building and maintaining the world's most critical underwater infrastructure. They exit the bell, stepping out onto a landscape few humans will ever see. Their mission: to weld massive pipelines, repair complex structures on oil rigs, and install vital subsea equipment with surgical precision. This is a workshop unlike any other. They battle powerful, unpredictable currents that can throw a person around like a rag doll. Visibility is often near zero, forcing them to work by feel and the narrow beam of a helmet-mounted light. The cold is a constant enemy, seeping through even the most advanced heated suits. All of this, while tethered to the bell by their umbilical, a lifeline pumping in the precious heliox they breathe. The challenges are immense. A simple task like tightening a bolt requires incredible strength and focus against the water's resistance. They use specialized hydraulic tools, but the work is physically punishing and mentally draining. One wrong move, one moment of lost concentration, could be catastrophic, not just for them, but for the multi-billion-dollar project they support. But there's another, more insidious danger lurking here. It's not a creature of the deep or an equipment failure. It's a rebellion from within their own bodies. At these extreme depths, divers face the terrifying risk of high-pressure nervous syndrome, or HPNS. This isn't about the gas they breathe, it's about the raw physical pressure of the water itself compressing their very cells. The central nervous system begins to protest this alien environment. The first signs are subtle, a slight tremor in the hands, but it can quickly escalate into uncontrollable shaking, dizziness, nausea, and a feeling of intense anxiety. HPNS can strike without warning, turning a diver's own body into their greatest enemy, hundreds of feet below the waves. So why do they face this? Why push the human body to such an incredible extreme? Because their work is the hidden backbone of our modern world. The vast undersea pipelines they install and meticulously maintain carry a huge portion of the oil and gas that powers our cities, homes, and industries. Without them, the lights would go out. And it's not just energy. These same divers help lay and repair the fiber optic communication cables that stretch across ocean floors. They are the guardians of the global internet, the physical caretakers of the digital age. This extreme job, hidden from sight in the crushing dark, is what connects and powers our entire civilization. So, can your body really get saturated with helium? The answer is a profound and absolute yes. After days spent under the immense weight of the ocean, the diver's body reaches a state of equilibrium. The inert, non-reactive helium gas they've been breathing has dissolved into every single tissue. It's in their muscles, it's in their bones, it has permeated their fat, their organs, their blood, even the delicate tissues of their brain. They are no longer just a person inside a high-pressure environment. They have become part of that environment. Their very biology is now in balance with the crushing abyss outside. This is the aha moment, the very definition of saturation. They are now, quite literally, full of helium. From this point on, they can work at that extreme depth for weeks without the need for daily decompression. They have become temporary citizens of the deep sea, a feat of human adaptation that borders on science fiction. But what goes down must come up, and the journey back to our world is the final, most grueling test of a saturation diver's endurance. To return to the surface, all of that dissolved helium must be carefully, painstakingly, and slowly released from their tissues. This is decompression, and it can take days, sometimes even longer than a week. Inside the deck. Decompression chamber, the pressure is reduced by mere fractions of an atmosphere at a time. Too fast, and the helium will fizz out of their blood and tissues like bubbles in a shaken soda can, a catastrophic fatal condition known as the bends. Their lives depend on a slow, controlled ascent, living in the cramped tube for days after their work is already done. When you look at the life of a saturation diver, you're looking at the absolute edge of human adaptability. These individuals are true pioneers of inner space. They have proven that through incredible technology, meticulous science, and sheer force of will, humans can create a way to live and work productively in an environment as alien and hostile as the surface of another planet. They don't just visit the deep, they inhabit it. They re-engineer their own bodies temporarily to coexist with pressures that would obliterate an unprotected person in an instant. It is a testament to our species' relentless drive to explore, to build, and to overcome the seemingly impossible. This extreme profession is a powerful reminder that the frontiers of exploration aren't just in the distant stars, they are also in the crushing, silent darkness beneath the waves. The courage and discipline required to live this life are almost beyond comprehension. These divers are the unseen foundation of our modern world. The energy that powers our cities, the data that connects our continents, much of it flows through infrastructure built and maintained by their hands in the abyss. They are the quiet heroes of the deep, redefining the limits of what it means to be human, one breath of heliox at a time. But inside this metal world, a unique brotherhood is forged. These divers aren't just colleagues, they become a single breathing unit. They share meals, stories, and the immense silent pressure of the deep. Their psychological resilience must be as strong as the hull of their habitat, a fortress of the mind built to withstand weeks of confinement and constant underlying risk. They rely on each other for everything, from double-checking a valve to providing a crucial morale boost. In this cramped, artificial world, trust isn't just a word, it's their primary survival tool. It's the invisible shield that protects them from the crushing isolation of their environment, a bond tempered in the abyss. A typical day begins not with sunlight, but with the hum of life support systems. After a meal carefully planned to provide maximum energy without upsetting their pressurized bodies, the work shift begins. They don't just swim out the door, they transfer from their living quarters into an even smaller craft, the diving bell. This bell acts as their deep-sea elevator, a pressurized bubble that is clamped to the habitat, pressurized to match, and then lowered through the churning ocean to the worksite hundreds of feet below. It's a commute through an alien world, a descent into a place of perpetual twilight where the only light comes from their own powerful lamps. And the dangers are not just outside. Inside the habitat, the oxygen-rich heliox atmosphere that keeps them alive at depth poses a terrifying threat. Fire. A single spark from a stray electrical fault could ignite an inferno that would consume the available oxygen in seconds. In this sealed environment, there is no escape. This is why every system is redundant, every procedure is meticulously followed, and every diver is trained not just as a deep-sea technician, but as an emergency first responder. They live on a knife's edge, where the very air they breathe is both their lifeline and a potential catastrophe waiting to happen. So why endure this? Why live a life under pressure that most of us can barely imagine? Because they are the builders and mechanics of the deep ocean. They perform tasks that are impossible for robots, assembling and repairing the complex subsea infrastructure that powers our world. They are the hands that turn the wrenches on oil and gas wellheads, the welders who fuse pipelines together in the crushing dark. Their work ensures that the energy flows to our homes and the data flows across our planet. They are unseen, unheard, but utterly essential. After their tour, which can last up to 28 days, their mission is still far from over. The job is done, but they can't simply return to the surface. Their bodies are now a part of the deep, completely saturated with helium. The journey home must be taken one breath, 1 foot of pressure at a time. This is decompression. For roughly 1 day for every 100 feet of depth they worked at, the divers remain sealed in their habitat as the pressure is slowly, painstakingly reduced. Rushing this process would be lethal. The dissolved helium in their tissues would violently bubble out of solution, a catastrophic condition known as decompression sickness or the bends. Their patience is the final, most critical skill.